Hello there, everybody. Welcome to another edition. Well, this is from Salt Fork, Ohio. This is brought to you by Appalachian Barnacle Company, Beard Balm, Beard Oil, Beard Cream, and Stop. Shipping now. If you got a loved one with a beard, you want them smelling good, check out our Shopify store. It's in our comments on our YouTube channel. I'll drop it in the comments in the chat shortly. But welcome, Tom and Mike. How are y'all doing tonight?
Doing really well on this end of the circuit.
Doing great, Grizz. Good to be here. Sounds like you had an interesting weekend, and we're looking forward to hearing about it.
There's no word. Hello there, Lori, Sunny Lou, little twisted in the house. How you doing there? Oh, Old Bear. What? Shut the front door. You cannot make it on the show, but you can make it in the comments. Arr, matey. Nice to see you there, Old Bear. How did Roger? Nice to have you there. Let's see here. So yeah, we're gonna Dirt Road. Hey man, I love you to death. I miss you. Amy, nice to see you there. Ohio Freshwater Fisherwoman, nice to have you on the show. Round of applause for everybody. All Witchy, thanks for your help in the background and everything. I couldn't do it without you tonight. And let's see here. There's somebody. I got a feeling. Well, anyways, welcome everybody to another edition. Yeah, so we're going to cover some stuff that actually happened. Hello there. Welcome. Nice to have everybody. Yeah, so I actually was posting a lot of stuff during the camp out and the outing because everybody wanted to see pictures and everything. I mean, it was just phenomenal. You know, the first time I went out there, everybody was talking about the activity. And they're like, there's no way that much happens out there in that little part of that park. And yeah, it's just off the chart. So how was your all's week before we get started?
Hot.
I love hot.
We've been, you know, I'm still trying to coach high school baseball at my age, and it's been about 100 degrees all week long. So, you know, it is what it is. But other than that, it's good.
We don't do the 100-degree stuff here. It's supposed to get up to 80 to 85 this weekend. That's too hot for here. So
hot.
I'll just stay in my AC.
Whatever. Y'all cracked me up. Well, welcome, Lulu. Lulu, that's who I was looking for. What do you say there, Lulu? Welcome to the show. But ladies and gentlemen, we actually have people that were there at Salt Fork that are going to be on the show tonight. So very interesting. And it is just off the chart. But one of the
you had people that wish they were there too. That's also on the show.
Yeah, I know, right? They were messaging me at 4:00 in the morning, like, "What are you doing still up?" And like after I saw that hand on the tent, I mean, I thought that was Thomas. I was like, "Thomas, what are you doing?" You know.
Thomas was probably snoring.
And then I blame Curtis. But yeah. But anyway, we had a good time though. But we had one person. We went down to Hozak's Cave, and we were looking around, and they found some juvenile prints. And I don't know what this is, but I actually stepped over this print, and one of the investigators down there actually found something, and we actually did a little video. So we'll start off with her. Unfortunately, she's not able to make it. And action. Make sure I got my sound on. Uh-oh. I hit a wrong button. Let me try this again. Can you see what I'm looking at?
You're looking at a lot.
Okay. So my name is Melinda. I'm from Norwalk. I'm here at Salt Fork Park, State Park. I can't tell you the name of the
Hozak Cave.
Yes. I found a dog print.
What kind of dog print?
Dog man print.
So it doesn't look canine to me. I looked at it. It's very big. It's almost about the size of the palm of my hand. And what's interesting is the depth of it. And it looks like you found toenails and everything in it, right?
Yep.
So what made you come down to this part of Hozak's Cave?
I came with my mom, and her husband.
So I'm gonna pause the video here for a second. Oop, that didn't work, did it? Did you see the mud bank next to the water where everybody was walking on? See that right there?
Yeah.
So what was interesting, I'm gonna pause it, is that we were walking on that, and we were not probably sinking probably that much into the mud. And the print in prints that they found was like, shut the front door. I'm like, it was like that deep in the mud. And it was just like, how is this possible? I mean, does that tell you how heavy these things or whatever it was? But
yeah.
Dog man print.
So it doesn't look canine to me. I looked at it. It's very big. It's almost about the size of the palm of my hand. And what's interesting is the depth of it. And it looks like you found toenails and everything in it, right?
Yep.
So what made you come down to this part of Hozak's cave?
I came with my mom and her husband, and they're here with Renee.
Right.
She's been into it for years. I never believed her though. What am I looking for? Bigfoot.
And y'all was just looking around in the mud?
Yep. Just looking.
And what other prints did y'all come across?
Renee came across a juvenile print and a couple more dog prints.
Interesting. So we are casting them, correct?
Yes.
And we're going to see how they turn out. So stay tuned, everybody. Thank you. Yeah, so it was very impressive. They have not been into, what happened to Tom? Tom? Oh, he's coming back in. But what's interesting is that they are not really into Bigfoot or whatever, and they got into it. But to see them interacting and to find everything, it was pretty far. Welcome back, Tom.
I tipped my camera over, I guess.
But let me show you here. Oh, Tom, what are you doing down there?
Tipped it again.
Bless his heart. All right, let me show you this print. Let's see here. All right. This is how big this print she found. Now, when she found this print, ladies and gentlemen, I couldn't believe it. I mean, I've seen stuff before, but look at this. And look how deep that is. And that's 2 hands. And I'm going to try to find another picture, but where it actually was an aerial view down when they were taking pictures. I've got like gazillions of pictures. Here's another picture, a different view. Let me bring this up real quick. But I like to get one from the aerial part. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is not brushed or anything like that. It's not been cleaned up. So if you don't know anything about prints, it's got to be clean with a paintbrush. But it actually, you can see the toenails on it coming out, and they were actually down into the ground, like when it walked. But the pads and everything on it, it's not like a regular canine in the length of it, right? And then the weight of it. Yeah, the weight of it in the mud was just like, wow, it's just off the chart. But yeah, and Old Bear said, yeah, they're new into Bigfoot. Her mother, and her mother's husband. So it was interesting, phenomenal. But there were some other things that happened down there, and that was off the chart. And I guess you heard about the prank that everybody played on me too. Did y'all hear about that one? Because I know, Mike, you were laughing. Thomas, you didn't hear that? So they actually did something to me. And before we bring the guest on, let me bring up my TikTok account. I think I got a video of it. But I heard something all night long, and I thought it was Curtis, him and his chicken. He had this rubber chicken. And all night long, every few minutes, I heard this chicken going off, and we actually made a video. But here we go, in action here. Share screen. All right.
So I made friends with his son.
Damn, Gwen, you're always stealing my show here. I love her to death. Where did I go? Here we go, and action. Last night I hear, I'm like, Curtis, what are you doing with that chicken? And I'm like, Curtis, what are you doing? I heard this all night. All night long. I'm like, Curtis, what are you doing with that damn chicken? All night. I heard this. And I'm like, what the hell? And I'm laughing. Hey, they put this underneath my tent. So every time I go on the air mattress, that's what I heard. That's not. Oh my God. Yeah, I blamed you all night for that chicken. All night, I heard chicken. So yeah, and when they put her underneath the tent, Thomas, it sounded like the tent next door. I'm like, what the hell's wrong with Curtis? He keeps squeezing that damn chicken. You know, the whole camp was in on it, and I'm like, every time I moved, every time I moved on the air mattress, it went yeah, Amy, yeah, right, honey. And I was like, how the hell is this guy staying up 3 or 4 in the morning every few minutes? You know, as I was on the phone with Christina, and we were just laughing. I was like, damn, what is wrong with him and that damn chicken? and then the next morning they told me it's like it's underneath your mattress. I was like, the hell it is. No, it's not. So I go in there and Thomas is sleeping because it's early in the morning. So I'll go in there, man. I flip this big queen air mattress and flip it. I can't find the chicken, but I hear it. And I'm like, what? And they're like, is your air mattress new? I'm like, well, it's only got a couple of uses on it. And so now they're blaming that anyways. But yeah, so that's what happened. Yeah, old bear. So let's go ahead and bring Thomas and Kurt, Neil and Mary, Trina, and Gwen. Welcome, everybody. How are y'all doing?
Hello, everybody.
Fantastic.
So, Thomas, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. How about yourself? You got yourself a free range chicken.
Yeah, I'm gonna. You and your damn chicken, whatever. So yeah,
wait till next year.
Thomas, good to see you again.
I tell you what was real funny, right? So I was on the phone. I'm down about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and that was about that time. I'm sitting there, and I had this lantern inside the tent so I can illuminate my face while I'm on the video call, right? And next thing you know, the tent moves, and I'm like, "Damn it, Thomas, what are you doing?" He's sleeping, and I'm like, and next thing you know, I see this hand come through the tent, and I'm like, "Oh!" I'm like, "Man, that's from the outside. That's not from the outside." And I'm like, "Man, what the hell?" I'm like, "Thomas, get up! Thomas, get up!" He's sleeping through it. Next thing you know, the side of the tent goes being rubbed on. I'm like, shut the front door. I'm like, Curtis, is that you? Curtis, are you messing with me? Anyways, so what'd you do, Thomas?
Yeah, well, as soon as you said something, somebody's pushing in the tent, and I'm sitting there watching it put the hand pushing it, and then I saw the fingers going across the tent, like rubbing on the tent. So I yelled out, it's like, what do you got, a tent fetish or something? Go mess with someone else's tent.
I'm like, what's wrong with you, Thomas? And I'm trying to look for my pew-pews. He's getting ready to go deaf. You know what I'm saying? Anyway.
And he walked on down to my tent and rubbed my tent because Thomas just said, go to someone else's tent.
I mean, you can't make this up.
Instructions very good.
You can't make this up, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, I don't know.
Well, Curtis had the chicken, so it would have scared it off.
Yeah.
All you hear is Grizz.
No, that
yelling like a little schoolgirl.
Go ahead, Mary. Go ahead and
All
say
you can hear is Grizz just like a little schoolgirl. Thomas, wake up.
Yeah. So that
Everyone heard it.
So that brings us to our next video that stars Mary in it, because this happened the next morning. And action. Here we go.
What do you mean?
I'm on my tent and I hear you. Thomas!
Well, the side of the tent was being pushed.
That didn't mean anything. Shut your light
And then the side of the tent was being rubbed like somebody was rapping. And Thomas is sleeping.
Trying to rub your head.
Yeah.
For life.
And what did you see? You said you saw flashlights?
I seen flashlights and I ran down there to a girl's tent, but I heard you screaming like a little girl. Oh, Thomas!
I'm out of here.
I mean, really? I mean, ladies and gentlemen, so they they brought me in during the spring because of all the activity. I mean, it was crazy. And then this happens. Gwen, what happened to you last year?
What happened to me last? Oh, geez, I got my truck touched
Yeah, talk to us about that.
while I was sleeping in it.
I mean, what the? I mean,
It
I'm
freaked
telling
me
you.
out.
Yes, in it. And I mean, didn't you get a handprint or something?
I did. I lifted the handprint when I got home. It was
So,
about 18 inches wide.
I mean, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, that's just crazy. So, Laura's a giant feral chicken. I'm not going to even comment on that. But, but it was, and you know, what was really nice is that everybody down there was friends and family, everybody, and we had a really good time. And let's see here, Mary, what happened? Never mind. We're just going to play the video on this one. Do not laugh at her husband because he did something, and yeah. But so they actually were in the woods camping by the edge of the woods camping, and they had a growl, I think, and red eyes, and then the whole damn camp was in an uproar, like they were going into a posse mode to lynch somebody. And I mean, they had flashlights, they were grabbing pew pews, and I'm on the phone, I'm dying laughing. Thomas is getting up trying to get dressed.
You
He
were
can't put
laughing
his
your butt.
pants on. Thomas couldn't get his pants on. He's like, "What we do? What we do?" I'm like, "What the hell? What do you mean what we do?" And here we go. Action on this. Here we go.
Like, what do you mean you got screamed at?
You got screamed at right before we went.
What screamed at?
Bigfoot.
What it looked like?
We're losing signal.
It was the sound he had on his phone, a little bit off. I didn't want to go in the tent. He put the dress. He pulled me in because of it.
Same end as that.
Stuck backwards.
Hey, what's going on?
But yeah, it happened.
Did you hear what happened? He pushed her in the tent, and he went to zip the tent. He zipped it backwards.
No, he pulled me in the tent. He pulled me. I was mad as heck. I was not happy. He pulled me in, went to zip it.
Uh-oh.
Trina could hear me telling him to let me out.
Yeah.
I was peeping out my
was not
window
happy.
because I wouldn't get out my tent.
I know, man. And you know, and I was laying there. I was dying because everybody's like, "Oh, man, oh, man." You know, the next morning, I'm like trying to film all this. They're like, "Why are you laughing?" I'm like, "Man, y'all look like a posse." I mean, like, oh, wow.
Oh, I watched you. I stood there and looked at you. I
And
stood there and
Curtis-
looked at you.
I just
wanted to
yelled through my
smack your
tent.
head.
Yeah, and Curtis slept.
I
through
yelled,
the whole
"Mary, are you
Yeah.
okay?
I'm good. Mary's just going to beat up
Mary,
the
are
sack.
you okay?"
What I really wanted to do, ladies and gentlemen, I really wanted to jump out of my tent and jump on Gwen's SUV parked in front of Old Bear's camper. But I was hurting so bad with my back, I was afraid I was going to end up mercy room. Curtis, what'd you think about this weekend?
Oh, it was great. It was very fun. Had a blast.
So,
Tell you what, it turned this skeptic into a believer. I tell you that.
Yeah, what happened that night? We all went out. Where did we go to? Hozak's Cave, right?
Yeah.
Does everybody remember what happened that night?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, we went to Hozak's Cave, and here's a picture of Hozak's Cave. Now, this is zoomed in, and let me make sure I'm going to go in the right direction. So, that's the cave. And we went back the next day, and I got some daylight pictures. Gwen, tell us what happened that night.
Oh my gosh. We started walking in to Hozak's Cave, and then Old Bear kind of stopped us because I believe there was some red eyes and some very creepy, eerie feelings. I believe even something growled at somebody.
It growled at Old Bear. He said it was a gugway.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so here we are, and I've seen horror movies, Mike and Thomas, and white people die. So we are on this incline, and everybody's trying to hold on to these trees from not falling in the dark. And I'm like, I'm trying to scoot down this hill. I'm like, I'm not gonna get eaten first. I'm gonna be the first one out.
We was walking on that ledge. It was only about a little over a foot wide.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And, so we actually had to get out of there, and we did not get to go up to the cave at nighttime to experience Hozak Caves at night. But it was phenomenal because I think what's his name, Josh? I think didn't he get stuff thrown at him? Because I think he snaked around, didn't he? And came back.
Yeah. He went down by the water, and he said he got some stuff thrown at him down there.
Right. So, anybody else want to chime in on that? Trina? Neil and Mary?
I backed out. I was in the middle when he said red eyes. I was out.
I was right behind her when he seen everything.
Curtis had a hold of me, and I don't know who had a hold of my other arm, but then it was all of us drove. If one was going over, we all were.
So, Thomas and Mike, red eyes, what do you associate that with?
Myself personally, it would either be a gugway or a Janasqua. Or, yeah, those would be the two I would associate with.
And what are those?
Know what the gugway is?
Yes.
It's basically just imagine a two-legged baboon on steroids.
Baboon. And the other Thomas, what do you think about that?
What do I think about it?
No, the other Thomas, Contrail.
Oh, okay.
Cantrell.
Oh, you were talking about something that I've never experienced there. I don't know what these creatures are you're even talking
Shine
about.
Time? Red eye shine?
No, red eye shine? Red eye
Yeah, I
shine.
think the original question was about red eye shine. Red eye shine.
What do you associate with red eye shine? What's your take? Is Cantrell here? Because I'm not looking at the screen. No, he's gone. Mike, what do you associate that with?
Hell, most of the eye shine that I've seen has been kind of a yellowish, it's kind of like with the fire glow and stuff like that. But red eye shine's been associated with Sasquatch. And then we had a recent one we investigated not too long ago in my area was green eye shine, and Cantrell said they could have green eye shine as well. But most of what I've seen is kind of a yellowish color, and of course that usually comes through a fire glow. But
right,
red eye shine definitely is going to be something that you're going to pay attention to if you see it. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Gwen, you had an incident in the back of a pickup truck, didn't you?
Oh my gosh. I could still kill Tim.
So what happened?
Tim and I were sitting there because I got eaten alive by chiggers, which is a whole new avenue of damn bugs for me.
She does not know what chiggers were until she camped out.
Never heard of chiggers before. I'm well versed now, but I decided to stay with Tim because he can't go trucking through the woods like everybody else, and I would scratch him like crazy. So Tim and I are sitting on the back of the tailgate, and we hear something walking through the woods, and I'm looking to the right, and he's looking to the left, and all of a sudden I hear him, cock his gun, and I'm like, Tim, are you all right? And he's like, yep, I'm fine. And then, we get back to the camp, and he's like, I didn't want you to freak out, but something was 7 feet away from us and whatever it was put their handprints on the side of Tim's truck, and you see them there.
Yeah.
The handprints. I lifted the prints on Saturday morning.
So yeah,
That's where I
and
saw red eye glow, was in that area where them handprints came from. I've never seen eye glow in my life. First time ever experiencing it, and they were freaking red.
Mm-hmm.
so I had an opportunity to talk to a person and present these prints, and let's share the video evidence and action.
21 years now of law enforcement. I haven't always been in a crime scene, which is where I'm at now. I'm a certified latent fingerprint examiner, certified crime scene technician. I've been trained in bloodstain pattern analysis, shooting incident reconstruction, crime scene reconstruction. I attended the National Forensic Academy. Right before COVID, I was an
So did you hear what academy? So this is the highest you can probably get, ladies and gentlemen.
adjunct professor there that was helping, adjunct instructor, not professor, adjunct instructor helping process teach fingerprinting, how to process fingerprints, things like that. Prior to being in the crime scene world, I was a crimes against persons detective. It's kind of like major crimes, armed robbery, homicides, things like that. And even before that, leading up, I was a polygraph examiner and focused on interviews and interrogations. So that's about it, short in a nutshell.
All right. And part two.
I'm going to be able to tell you, yes, I can already tell you those are dermal ridges, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're in the shape of a writer's palm, like someone cupping their hand and putting it on the card, just like so. So, but telling you what made it, I can't give you that. That DNA would have to go to, I would go for DNA versus anything else. I can already tell you those are friction ridges. The first thing I would want to do, just to clarify and make sure that this isn't an accidental finding, you know what I mean, is take elimination palm prints from all the individuals that were there and people who are normally in that truck. And we do a comparison against them to make sure this isn't an accidental palm print from them. That's been, evidence that's been misinterpreted.
All right.
That would be the first thing I would do. Is
what's your take on that, Gwen?
Well, my take is clearly the same as it was when I got my car touched, and that was that everywhere on the car that I touched was not dusted with prints. Just the one set that was on the back, and that's exactly how Tim and Renee's truck was, where they had opened car doors or laid, the tailgate down. There was nothing dusted, just those palm prints on the side. And, well, either somebody was eating something extremely oily and then touched the truck, or it was Bigfoot.
So Thomas Cantrell and Mike Scott.
Yes. Now this
both,
is something I can talk about because this is something we get a lot of as prints left on vehicles. And the first thing I look at, just like the investigator said, are dermal ridges. Look for that. Number two, how big is it? Because I know how big everybody's hand is in camp. And when the fingers are twice as long as anybody's fingers in camp, I know where it comes from. If the width of the finger is an inch and a half wide, none of us made that. Okay. Mm-hmm. It comes from outside. Those are the first things I look for. And then from there, I'll do my best to lift the prints. And I'm not very good at it. I wish I were better. But I did get a fingerprint kit, and we've been practicing. And but sometimes we get it where they're still damp and they're still drying out, and you can see the print. And as they dry out, you lose sight of the print, and that's kind of exciting too. Yeah,
Mike.
I've never have seen the prints on the vehicle to really comment on it. But obviously, if that was a palm print, that's that's. I mean, I'm 6'5", and I got pretty big hands, and that looks like it would have dwarfed mine. So.
And one of the things that we're all aware when it comes to Bigfootery is, number one, Gwen made a good fact and a good statement, because I've actually been around that truck, was in the truck when I went filming and took photographs. I've actually touched that truck. However, you don't see any other fingerprints on there, right?
Right.
And we know by your area about your greenhouse, and you know what I'm talking about. We're not going to say location.
Yeah.
The prints that we all know about Bigfoot are very oily, just like Gwen said.
Right.
So, and that's why I think too that all that dust is adhering to it, to see the ridges in the outline of the prints that we actually see on the screen. The guy that came on the show the other day had no idea that I was going to present that to him, and I wanted an unsolicited, factual based response for an actual expert that testifies in regular court and federal court, that has the backing to be able to speak. Now, I'll say this, ladies and gentlemen, somebody made a comment that I have connections. You damn right I do. And if I tell you to take a polygraph test, you're going to take a polygraph test, or I'll put you throughout the world if you don't. Keep that in mind. We have people that will step up and polygraph examine you. If you want to make a statement or you want to come out with an encounter and I know it's not true, I'll give you a polygraph test, and I'll do it publicly in front of everybody. So just keep that in mind. But anyways, Kurt, what do you think about the prints?
That's the first time I've seen them when you put them up there. So. Yeah, those are pretty good prints. That had to have been done before we went down the dusty road stuff.
Well, and like I said, Mike, Tom, Gwen, especially Gwen, because she lifted her own prints. Gwen, have you ever seen other people's Bigfoot prints or alleged prints that came from Bigfoot?
No. I've never seen anybody's prints that they said they've gotten from a Bigfoot. Most people don't know what they're doing when they lift prints and they smudge them and screw them all up. But
yeah,
I learned from a friend of mine that is a police detective. So when something happens and I need, him to teach me how to gauge how tall something is or how heavy something is, or I call him up and he walks me through it. So I've learned a lot from him, and so now I carry transfer tape in my Bigfoot box, and I lifted Renee and Tim's prints for them on Saturday morning.
Yeah, lifting prints, ladies and gentlemen, it's not hard. And
No,
I tell people to use your vehicle as a test object, the glass, the paint, the body, whatever. Don't do the inside. If you're going to use powder, you're going to make a mess. But use the outside and have fun doing it. You can also lift prints off regular pieces of paper to practice. Transfer tape's easy. I don't recommend magnetic powder. That's a little bit older. I like the regular powder. You can buy different color powders to make the dermal ridges to shine or be more visible than the black. But if you know what you're doing, I always tell people to take a lot of photographs, different angles. If you don't have good lighting, use a flashlight. Do the different angles. Go out there on YouTube, learn how to photograph fingerprints. It's not hard. Have fun with it. Because when you do come across stuff like this, you want to try to document it the best to your ability. Because you want to set up a scenario to where people will know where you was at, the surroundings, the detailed information. Because we tell people when you go in the woods and you see a tree bend, everybody wants to say it's Bigfoot. But how do we know it's Bigfoot? Well, I go into this area for the past 3 to 5 years. It's known activity. I get prints between 18 to 23 inches, and I've got documentation of that. There are significant tree bends and breaks that are not weather related. And so now you're building a plethora of information, and you're painting and you're getting details of an area. So that way, when you do present evidence, right, the totality of the circumstances or the events, you are persuading somebody, here's the reason why I think it is Bigfoot related. Because you have all these other indicators, people seeing the creature looking into people's windows, right? In these structures that are not humanly possible being made, these huge X formations. Speaking of that, Mike and Cantrell, what do you think about talking about information like that to other people? Does that help people, or?
It does. And let me say that there's another person that's very forefront in this type of investigation out of Texas by the name of Jimmy Chilcutt. He's was a forensic investigator and has a lot of work on prints and a good resource to go to. But yes, it does. When you're never convinced the total skeptic. So don't even.
The change screens. What did he do? Did he fall over?
Yeah. And no, I just sitting there and it moves wrong, and goes off. So don't waste your breath trying to convince the skeptic, but make your best case possible. And you said it. You hit it right on the head. Document what you're doing. Mm-hmm. Okay. Make sure that you keep track of what you're doing, where your investigation is going, and how you're doing it. Because somebody's going to want to know. And the more information you have, the more plausible your case becomes.
Yeah, the only thing I would add is that anybody, Trina, Mary, Thomas, Curtis, and Gwen, is have a tape measure for scale. You can get forensic tape measures off Amazon for a couple of bucks. They're usually L-shaped, so we can get measurements and so forth. Mm-hmm. Because one of the things, when I took those photographs, Gwen was getting ready to lift them. I'm like, oh, as fast as I could. Because I wanted to get the dermal ridges. I wanted to get what I could, but we didn't put anything up there to show, size compared to human hands. And, right. But, they were so fresh and everybody was, it's hindsight, right? And I mean, how many people go out? I mean, my fingerprint kit costs $1,300 and it's got everything. And I don't know why I didn't bring it, because we always hear down at Salt Fork that this happens, and it did happen, right? Once again, hindsight. So, Trina, what do you think about the camping experience?
I had a blast. I actually got to witness and experience things, and I've always been a believer, but seeing is believing for sure.
Yeah.
Neil and Mary, what about you guys? Go ahead, Mike.
I was going to say there's no substitute for this thing is believing on that. That's for sure.
No. So Thursday night, was it Thursday night, Thomas? We had the screen behind the tent, or Curtis? Yeah. And we were like laying on our mattress, and we're like, what the hell was that? That was a screen, and it wasn't that far off, wasn't it, Curtis?
That was Friday night. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I got them on recording. I just haven't been back to review it yet.
Mary, what'd you think?
Well, I thought on Friday, I thought it was Trina screaming, because us and I think it's Amy that was over by us. They were she also heard like women arguing. And then it was, we heard a lady scream, and she heard the same thing. And the next thing I know, you were screaming. So, I mean, everybody ran down by Trina's tent, was asking her if she was okay. She wasn't moving in that tent. She was not. She said she was not. She just covered up.
Go ahead, Mike.
I have a little fan.
Yeah.
I was going to comment just a second ago.
Go ahead.
Grizzly, when you
I
talked about
through the whole thing.
I get asked about that a lot. People ask me to come out and take a look at them. I got one I've got to take a look at just west of our city limits here in the near future. But when you look at those, you examine all the evidence. How was it made? How was it put together? Could it have been weather? Could it not have been weather? What's the likelihood of it being weather? Putting things in formations like that. What's the likelihood of it being human? Usually, if it's Bigfoot related, there's other Bigfoot evidence in area, you can find that, and you just go through your whole checklist, just like these handprints on the vehicle, and go through the process of elimination of everything else. And I didn't think about Grizzly when you asked about the handprints. About a year ago, we talked about the greenhouse condensation at another place that I look at, how oily their prints are, that they will put a handprint in the wintertime in a greenhouse, and that thing will stay on there for a long time before it gets wiped out. Because whereas if we went in there and did something with our hand, it would be vanished within a day.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's one of the things that I wanted Gwen to talk about, and she did. She mentioned it about oily. Is somebody eating oily? And for some reason, I'm thinking fried chicken, Gwen. Gwen and I had a war going on about photographs. You want to talk about that, Gwen?
Oh my gosh. Every time I turned around, the man had a camera in my face. So I decided to get after him. And every time he turned around, I had a camera in his face. Sometimes we took a picture of each other, taking a picture of each other.
It was great. And Gwen, that place we're at right now on the screen, Old Bear told me that that place is where the school teacher used to go to school and tie her horse around that 200-year-old tree.
Mm-hmm.
And ladies and gentlemen, I did not know until I got back to camp. They're like, Grizzly, do you know that hunters go back there and never come out? I'm like, what? What are you talking about? I didn't have my pew-pew? You're like, yeah, hunters go missing. And I'm like, look at Gwen down there. And I'm like, nobody told me. So, Gwen, talk about that place for a minute.
They've had quite a few missing people, missing hunters that are in the woods with their pew-pews, and they go missing, and they never find anything of them. Not a gun, not a shirt, not a sock, not a bubblegum wrapper. They're just gone.
I mean, this is like missing 411.
It is. It is just like that.
So, also, Gwen, talk about your Bigfoot podcast too, and who you are.
Oh, I'm Gwendolyn Purcell, of course, and I have From Behind Tall Trees with CARC Universal, and I also do a podcast on our local radio station, Bigfoot Country, and it's called Bigfoot the Podcast.
Awesome, yes, it's a wonderful person. If you don't know or seen her, make sure and check her out. You'd be very well entertained. But the activity there between people hearing the screams, seeing the red eyes, and we're not talking just at camp. We're talking at Hozak's Cave. I don't know where, Gwen, we went to 2 different locations. Because I mean, you might as well just put a paper.
Devil's Knob.
Devil's Knob.
Okay, thank you. So that was one. But I was out taking pictures because my camera, I don't have to use the flash at night, and it's the settings I can adjust. But everybody was like, Grizzly, inhale, and I'm like, what do you mean inhale? They're like, just breathe. I'm like, you're like, you smell that? I'm like, yeah. What is it? They're like, it's grass, man. And I'm like, shut the front door. I'm like, man, y'all bunking me out. They're like, nah, man, look. And next thing you know, Thomas is like not even 20 feet from me, grabs his shirt and pulls it up, man. And I'm squatting in the middle of this little, I couldn't even run. I was like, man, he's getting ready to shoot something.
He was about to meet Jesus.
But it was weird on how they would surround you. And it was always more than one, it seemed like. Is that what happened, you all? Everybody's like, so talk out loud.
Yeah, and you could smell them like
Grizz.
went around you. The smell went around you. As you were standing there, it'd be on your left, then be on your right, then it was just all around.
Well, Grizz, when I lifted my shirt up, we had there was a juvenile that was coming in pretty quick, and Neil was just behind me, and we were moving toward it to get it to back off, which it did. And our sense was that it had ill intent.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy because,
It was
you know,
nuts.
being in law enforcement, right? And when you see somebody lift their shirt up, and it was like in slow motion, it was like, run, Grizz. And I couldn't run. I froze. Like my back was out. I couldn't jump up. It was awful. But, you know, it was just the stuff that happened. It was just, and Mike, I'm telling you, you know, the first time going out there, I thought it was all a hoax. And then the second time, man, you just cannot make it up.
I wish I was there. I really do.
I know.
Like
Mike would sing to him, "Oh, baby, please."
I'd give it a shot.
So if y'all don't know, Mike, I'll let you tell the story.
Oh, there was a couple of years ago, I probably had a 3 or 4 month stretch where I communicated with one on a regular basis, and that was, and then I think it was a female. I think it was a younger female, and I never saw her because it was always dark, and she always kept a distance inside the tree line, and you know, she'd come in and we just go back and forth, and it seemed like the first 2 times, after about 5 or 6 minutes of us going back and forth with each other, my buddy Matt, who we featured last week on the show with the footprints and everything like that in the cast, he'd get his cell phone out, hit record to get to record it, and as soon as he hit record, she just shut up. And then the first 2 times he did that, and then he told me what he did. I said, well, just don't worry about recording. Let's see how long this goes. And then, you know, we would go, and of course, it's not my property, it's public property. You're getting up there every couple of weeks because you got other schedules and other things to do. And then after a period of time, we went several months without any interaction. And then all of a sudden she came back after several months. And I asked her why she was gone. I asked her if she or any one of her friends had a baby or something like that. And then she shut up and I never heard from her again. So anyway,
this dude was singing to, you know, and telling this female Bigfoot, "It's okay, baby, you got this. Just go ahead and sing."
It wasn't exactly like that. We've had a time with embellishing the story as the years go by, haven't we?
I'm just saying, ladies and gentlemen, when somebody talks and communicates back and forth, right? It's whatever. But no, it was off the chart, and
yeah.
And I'll say this:
it was pretty amazing. It's one of those situations like Barber. So with them on the property, I wish it was something, you know, we could have.
That's something we should all strive for.
Yeah.
Is that two-way communication? Because believe me, it is absolutely out of this world when it occurs. To be able to sit there and talk back and forth is just, to have a conversation is just beyond anything you've ever done in your life.
It really is. But going down there and being with Gwen, Trina, Thomas, Curtis, and everybody else, Icebox, Old Bear, and his wife, Barb, it was his birthday, you know, and to meet everybody and just to be with a great group of people with like minds.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah,
and to experience all this together, you know, and I mean, there's not enough SD cards for my cameras, you know, and a lot of people thank me for doing it. And I don't mind doing it. It takes a lot of time to do it, but yesterday's closed. You cannot go back and revisit it. And only how you can is what you have taken or recorded, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right.
And, you know, Gwen had some rough times with her. I don't mean to laugh, bless your heart, girl. She didn't know what a chigger was. And that was hilarious. I'm like, wait a minute, a girl don't know what a chigger is.
Funny about chiggers.
and somebody said, you're a paramedic and you're freaking out over these chiggers. And I lost it. Like, I was freaking out. It's like, you Ohio people can keep your damn chiggers. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, I never itched so bad in my life.
That's why I tried to avoid June or July and August when it comes to getting out there.
That's
Ask her
another
what
thing
she
that we
did
don't.
not put on it.
I put everything on these chiggers. Everything. I mean, I had
Everything.
fingernail polish. I had chewing tobacco. I had cortisone cream.
Brake cleaner.
You do all that
brake
stuff.
cleaner.
It's gonna take about a week.
Yeah.
That's another
no
thing that we
longer-
don't have here that I'm very grateful it does is back there. You guys can have all of those and all the red bugs in the world.
Yeah, and one of the things Old Bear was talking about, and I do want to show this video. I can't play the music because of Facebook, because all the things. But he did. Old Bear was very thankful about the cake, and the cake that was there. Let me see if I can pause it just right. Let me mute the video. Let's see here. I don't know. Pause it. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, this picture of Bigfoot is actually, Gwen, correct me, was the first Bigfoot that Old Bear witnessed as a kid, right?
Yes.
So that was put on his birthday cake, and that was pretty amazing to see that, and that was awesome.
It was very awesome.
And yes, Old Bear, the cake was good. Scott M's like, I don't know what a chigger is. Scott,
Neither
Google
did
that,
I.
brother.
Neither did
Missouri
I.
or Ohio.
Oh, that's funny.
Go to Ohio.
Yeah, it's
You'll
just
find out real fast.
I can't believe Gwen. I mean, and here she's scratching, and I'm popping pictures left and right. And I'm not going to show those tonight, but I'm
Got
not.
me in so many, just like I'm bent over, scratching my legs, snap. I'm sitting in a chair, scratching my legs, snap. And I was like, man, I'm going to kill you.
So, yeah, I mean, it was fantastic. Trina, you have anything to add?
Just that Old Bear's a legend and he's awesome and can't wait to see him again.
Thomas?
Yes, I just want to say it's good to see everybody again and miss you all.
And Curtis.
Hey, great being with all you guys. Feel like we're all family now. And I can't wait for the next one. Can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, it like I said, it was just phenomenal, off the chart. There are a couple of times, unfortunately, I was not able to go out because of they're like Tom or like everybody's saying Curtis squeezed the chicken. They want to hear. I don't know why is there so infatuated with the damn chicken. Okay, I heard that all night, ladies and gentlemen. Mike Scott and Cantrell, is there anything you'd like to add before we wrap up?
I envy you guys this outing. It sounded like it was one for the books, one for the ages. We have our last one of this year coming up next month, too, with Barb and our group, Barb Shoop and our group here. And it's going to be fantastic, too. But, yeah, I'm envious of you guys. That was very, very good time.
Grizzly made me wish I was retired and I could have just packed up and gone. And it sounded like it was a great
right.
time.
Yeah, because
Great
Mike Scott was
interaction.
sitting there. It was, and
Plenty
once
of
again,
opportunities to interact as well. And I don't know how those grassmen or whatever they call them up there in Ohio, how they are with communication, but I'd love to give it a shot.
Yeah, but thanks for y'all joining tonight and to share your experiences. And it was an honor to have y'all to come on our show and talk about it. And I greatly appreciate it. So thank y'all very much.
Thank you. And I got the Tarzan call on video.
Did you really? Yeah. If you want to share
Yes, I
that,
did.
maybe next week
I'm
we'll
gonna
bring you back.
figure out how to upload it.
Yeah, we'll bring you back. We'll let you play it on the show next week if you like, if that's okay with
Frickin'
Mike
Tarzan.
and Tom.
Wonderful. Yeah.
So, yeah. And ladies and gentlemen, from coast to coast, around the world, Godspeed. We'll catch you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.
See you guys.
Bye.